Hey, sweetheart. I've been waiting for this. I look forward to sitting down to record every week for the chance to provide you with an escape from the world's hustle and bustle. I actually listen to a lot of these myself, not the ones that I record because I'm not the biggest fan of my own voice, but a lot of stuff that other artists do, it's really calming. I love taking the time to properly lay back and relax, to finally unwind from all the stressors and urgencies that life likes to throw our way. This week, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Just some relaxation and stress relief. No role play this time, no fancy acting. Nothing but you and me and some time away from it all. I really hope you'll enjoy it. Let's get started, okay? Get settled in. Lay down somewhere comfy or sit in your comfiest chair, maybe a beanbag. I haven't had one of those in years, but I used to take naps in them all the time. The goal here is to get you nice and relaxed. Whether that means actually falling asleep or just clearing your mind for a little while, it's up to you. I know it can be tough to lay down with headphones or earbuds, but just do your best. Or take them out and use your phone or computer speakers. It's worth the loss in sound quality if you're more comfortable. For me, I like to get all bundled up in bed with a few extra pillows around for coziness. I have this big weighted blanket that just makes everything nice and soft and warm. The kind of pressure that you get from a hug just gently pressing down, it's really nice. Whatever makes you the most comfortable is the best, though. As long as you're feeling good, then you're doing a great job. If you're the type of person who likes to cuddle, then you can go ahead and imagine me wrapping my arms around you nice and tight. I run pretty warm, and I'm really, really tall, so I make a fantastic big spoon. Though, if you'd prefer, you could also lay your head down on my chest and listen to my heart beat to a nice, relaxed rhythm. If you're not the type to cuddle, just grab a pillow or a stuffed animal or even just a bit of the blanket to hold in your arms. I have a big black stuffed cat named Gerard who I hold when I go to sleep every night, and she is a great stress reliever. I think holding something can just be so relaxing and comforting. You're doing such a good job already. Once you're nice and comfortable, nestled up in your coziest spot, I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes. There's nothing you need to be doing right now. The whole world can wait. Let everything else fade away. There's just you and me and the comfort you're feeling right now. You mean the world to me, sweetheart. And right now, nothing's more important than you getting the rest that you deserve. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths. When you breathe in, imagine all the tension that you're carrying collecting itself right in your chest. Your worries, your anxieties, any tasks or deadlines that you might be facing, let them all gather right there at the very center of you. Feel the tension in your muscles, your legs, your arms, your jaw. And when you breathe out, let those same worries out right along with the air, relaxing all those muscles and letting everything go. There's nothing to worry about right now. No reason for you to be anything but perfectly calm and relaxed. Let's take some breaths together now, okay? Breathe in, 2, 3. Hold it, 2, 3. And breathe out, 2, 3. Good job. Do it again. In, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. And out, 2, 3. One more time for me. In, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. And out, Good job. Keep taking those slow breaths like that for me, and sink down into the comfort around you. Are you much of one for bedtime stories? I used to think that they were so childish and silly, the kinds of things only little kids could enjoy. Like, somehow enjoying being read to and talked to sleep was somehow immature or weak. I don't think like that anymore, though, and I don't think you should either. The connections between people are some of the most important things in life, and finding comfort in hearing the voice of someone who cares about you, that's perfectly normal. A good story sets the stage for a good night's sleep, too. Getting your imagination working, thinking about something fantastical and lighthearted and sweet, that's just the right way to have some pleasant dreams, in my opinion at least. I'd like to tell you a story, if you aren't opposed to it. Just something to get that imagination of yours working, focusing on the words of the story instead of trying to sleep. It's a funny thing, actually. The harder you try to think about sleeping, the further away sleep itself actually gets. So instead, I'd like you to try and focus on this. It's an older fairy tale written by the Brothers Grimm. They're somewhat notorious for their more gruesome renditions of classic fairy tales, but this one, I think, is pretty nice. I've made a couple little tweaks from the original story because I think putting your own little spin on things is fun, but otherwise it remains the same. Once upon a time, there was a king who had 12 beautiful daughters. They slept in 12 beds, all in one room. And when they went to bed, the doors were shut and locked up. But every morning, their shoes were found to be quite worn, as if they had been danced in all night, and yet nobody could find out how it happened or where they had been. Then the king made it known to all the land that if any person could discover the secret and find out where it was that the princesses danced in the night, he should have the one he liked best for his wife, and should be king after his death. But whoever tried and did not succeed, after 3 days and nights, should be put to death. A king's son soon came. He was well entertained, and in the evening was taken to the chamber next to the one where the princesses lay in their 12 beds. There, he was to sit and watch where they went to dance, and in order that nothing might pass without his hearing it, the door to his chamber was left open. But the king's son soon fell asleep, and when he awoke in the morning, he found that the princesses had all been dancing, for the soles of their shoes were full of holes. The same thing happened the second and third night, so the king ordered his head to be cut off. After him came several others, but they had all the same luck, and all lost their lives in the same manner. Now it chanced that an old soldier, who had been wounded in battle and could fight no longer, passed through the country where this king reigned. And as she was traveling through the wood, she met an old woman, who asked her where she was going. "I hardly know where I'm going, or what I had better do," said the soldier, "but I think I should like very well to find out where it is the princesses dance, and then in time I might be a king." "Well," said the old dame, "that is no very hard task. Only take care not to drink any of the wine which one of the princesses will bring you in the evening, and as soon as she leaves you, pretend to be fast asleep." Then she gave her a cloak and said, "As soon as you put that on, you will become invisible, and you will then be able to follow the princesses wherever they go." When the soldier heard all this good counsel, she determined to try her luck, so she went to the king and said she was willing to undertake the task. She was as well received as the others had been, and the king ordered fine royal robes to be given to her. And when the evening came, she was led to the outer chamber. Just as she was going to lie down, the eldest of the princesses brought her a cup of wine, but the soldier threw it all away discreetly, taking care not to drink a drop. Then she laid herself down on her bed, and in a little while began to snore very loud as if she was fast asleep. When the 12 princesses heard this, they laughed heartily, And the eldest said, "This fellow too might have done a wiser thing than lose her life this way." Then they rose up and opened their drawers and boxes and took out all their fine clothes and dressed themselves at the glass and skipped about as if they were eager to begin dancing. But the youngest said, "I don't know how it is. While you're so happy, I feel very uneasy. I'm sure some mischance will befall us." "You simpleton," said the eldest. "You're always afraid. Have you forgotten how many kings' sons have already watched in vain? And as for this soldier, even if I had not given her her sleeping draught, she would have slept soundly enough." When they were all ready, they went and looked at the soldier. But she snored on and did not stir hand or foot. So they thought they were quite safe. And the eldest went up to her own bed and clapped her hands, and the bed sank into the floor, and a trap door flew open. The soldier saw them going down through the trap door, one after another, the eldest leading the way, and, thinking she had no time to lose, she jumped up, put on the cloak which the old woman had given her, and followed them. But, in the middle of the stairs, she trod on the gown of the youngest princess, who cried out to her sisters, "All is not right. Someone took hold of my gown." "You silly creature," said the eldest. "It is nothing but a nail in the wall." Then down they went, and at the bottom they found themselves in a most delightful grove of trees, and the leaves were all of silver and glittered and sparkled beautifully. The soldier wished to take away some token of this place, so she broke off a little branch, and there came a loud noise from the tree. Then the youngest daughter said again, "I am sure all is not right. Did you not hear that noise? That's never happened before." But the eldest said, "It is only our princes who are shouting for joy at our approach." Then they came to another grove of trees, where all the leaves were of gold, and afterwards to a third, where the leaves were all glittering diamonds. And the soldier broke a branch from each, and every time there was a loud noise, which made the youngest sister tremble with fear, but the eldest still said it was only the princes who were crying for joy. So they went on till they came to a great lake, and at the side of the lake there lay 12 little boats, with 12 handsome princes in them, who seemed to be waiting there for the princesses. One of the princesses went into each boat, and the soldier stepped into the same boat with the youngest. As they were rowing over the lake, the prince who was in the boat with the youngest princess and the soldier said, "I do not know why it is, but though I am rowing with all my might, we do not get on so fast as usual, and I am quite tired. The boat seems very heavy today." "It is only the heat of the weather," said the princess. "I feel it very warm too." On the other side of the lake stood a fine, illuminated castle, from which came the merry music of horns and trumpets. There they all landed and went into the castle, and each prince danced with his princess, and the soldier, who was all the time invisible, danced with them too. And when any of the princesses had a cup of wine set by her, the soldier drank it all up, so that when she put the cup to her mouth, it was empty. At this too, the youngest sister was terribly frightened, but the eldest sister always silenced her. They danced on till 3 o'clock in the morning, and then all their shoes were worn out, so that they were obliged to leave off. The princes rowed them back again over the lake, but this time the soldier placed herself in the boat with the eldest princess. And on the opposite shore they took leave of each other, the princesses promising to come again in the next night. When they came to the stairs, the soldier ran on before the princesses and laid herself down. And as the 12 sisters slowly came up, very much tired, they heard her snoring in her bed, so they said, "Now all is quite safe." And then they undressed themselves, put away their fine clothes, pulled off their shoes, and went to bed. In the morning, the soldier said nothing about what had happened, but determined to see more of this strange adventure, and went again the second and third night, and everything happened just as before. The princesses danced each time till their shoes were worn to pieces, and then returned home. However, on the third night, the soldier carried away one of the golden cups, as a token of where she had been. As soon as the time came when she was to declare the secret, she was taken before the king with the 3 branches and the golden cup, and the 12 princesses stood listening behind the door to hear what she would say. And when the king asked her, Where did my 12 daughters dance at night? She answered, With 12 princes in a castle underground. And then she told the king all that had happened, and showed her the 3 branches and the golden cup which she had brought with her. Then the king called for the princesses, and asked them whether what the soldier said was true. And when they saw that they were discovered, and that it was of no use to deny what had happened, they confessed it all. And the king asked of the soldier which of them she would choose for her wife. She answered, I am not very young, so I will have the eldest. And they were married that very day, and the soldier was chosen to be the king's heir. And they all lived happily ever after. Besides the beheaded princes, of course. I hope you enjoyed that one. I think it's a rather silly story, what with kingdoms underneath kingdoms and the beheading and all, but the whimsy of it makes for a lot of the charm, as is the case with a lot of things, I think. If you're still awake and you have things to do later, feel free to rest until it's time for you to get moving, or if you don't, just relax until it feels right to stop. I really hope you enjoyed this story, sweetheart. If you'd like me to do something similar again, feel free to let me know. I love hearing feedback. Until then, know that you're loved, that you make the world a better place just by being in it, and that more than anything, you are enough.